Hey everyone, I'm Matthew Whitrock, design lead for our newest set, which I'm excited to introduce today. We're calling this set, drumroll please, Remix Rumble.
Remix Rumble.
We've got a full playlist today, so I'll open with gameplay and then pass it to the rest of the lineup to chat music, cosmetics, ranked, and more. We'll also jump backstage at a few points to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how different parts of Remix Rumble came together. All right, let's jump right into the bands.
Vai.
And by bands, I mean traits.
Sinergias.
In Remix Rumble, you're the DJ, and the board is your turntable. By combining different traits, you'll create a medley of beats and genres. Let's start with familiar chart toppers,
KDA.
beginning with the ultimate pop stars, KDA.
Bem, garotas, os gays amam.
And their most dedicated superfans. Position them just so, and you'll find yourself at the performance of a lifetime, with incredible choreography.
A área é babado, gente. A área é babado, vocês vão amar.
Okay, let's make like a Kali and hop over.
A Kali eu não joguei muito.
True Damage and Pentakill are also in the mix.
True Damage, Pentakill.
And both stay true to their names. True Damage grants extra attack speed. Wait, that can't be right.
Sim, tem Lilia e
This is
Nico.
more like it. True Damage members are all about style and will gain a unique bling bonus that'll power them up as you itemize them. Oh, and before you ask, a Kali will be able to be played in KDA.
Eles amam nessa boneca, não tem como. Ele tem, eles amam. Eles amam.
All right, metalheads, Pentakill's up next. Pentakill members have damage reduction and bonus damage that increases as they score kills. And if your team manages to get a Pentakill, then their bonuses will increase again.
Ah, eu amei Pentakill.
Just be careful in Yorick's mosh pit.
Eu amo Pentakill.
Then there's Heartsteel.
Adoro.
Fresh off their debut,
Ai, gente.
and already making
Ai,
their mark on the
gente,
conversion.
esse set.
These guys are ready to
Eu não
bring
aguento
energy
mais, vai ser
and
tão
do whatever it
bom.
takes for their
Ai,
fans.
gente, esse
They may have
set.
started out underground, but they're
Ai, eu tô doido pra
certainly able
jogar.
to take you to the top of the charts and the lobby if you can conquer their risky
Heartsteel é Piltover. Heartsteel é Piltover do set, tá? Heartsteel é Piltover.
Have some all-new groups entering the convergence. With original TFT looks,
Lógico.
Ziggs make up the jittery, ridiculous, hyperpop duo Glitter Bomb. Speaking of original TFT skins, Remix Rumble has plenty. There's a whole new class, Superfans, who show off their fandom with style. The trait pumps up your headliner, more on that later, by turning one or more of their items into Radiant items. My personal favorite
Aí o Barda aí, ó. Falou de Barda ali, ó.
Joined the jazz trio Free Flow. He and his
Ó o
mates
Baz
are
aí.
looking as smooth as they sound. Before I get into the mechanics, let's head backstage to learn more about how we made
Mulher,
some of
cuidado
these
que esses
traits
áudios aí vai pro YouTube,
with
esse
Alex Cole
vídeo.
and one of our lesser known devs.
We knew set 10 was going to be our big music set. So when we think back of kind of like what the steps were, we knew we were going to have this big music moment. We were celebrating 10 sets of TFT, which was going to be huge. And really, we just kind of leaned right in and we were like, cool, we know we're going to do all of these cool origins.
Gente, a Nico e a Lilia, elas são KDA. E são skins exclusivas, são novas. Não tem a Lilia e a Nico KDA. E no set vai ter. É isso que eles querem dizer, entendeu?
Space Group,
Por exemplo.
disco and some stuff like that, but yeah, we were pretty quick to just turn right in and be like, oh wow, we have tons of things to pull from, which is really exciting.
So I'm pretty excited about Heartsteel. The
Heartsteel é
economy
muito
trait is
legal.
always a fan favorite of ours, but we've had this problem for a long time where the economy trait is you get it at 2-1 or you don't really play it. And so this time we took a very clear goal of how do you play it if you don't hit it at 2-1? And so what you can do is you can play it at any point in the game, and the more you've got,
mano,
the
as
bigger the
skins estão
payout.
muito lindas, a temática do set está muito linda.
But even if you win, you're still going to be getting this fan, and then it's going to cash out after a few turns. And so you can even pivot into it in the late game, and I think that's going to be a real skill-expressive part of the game, is that ability to go, okay, I'm in a position where I can play Heartsteel for a few turns, and then get my reward, and then pivot back. And I think that's
Mulher, a mecânica, a mecânica tá boa. A mecânica tá boa. Parece que não, mas a mecânica tá boa. Na hora que você jogar, você vai sentir. Sem hate, true. Tá muito boa em comparação ao que era. Juro por Deus, aguarde.
I'm really excited for Country to join those ranks. So with country, we have something called the Midnight Horse, which is Hecarim, and when your champions sort of get lower or lose health, Hecarim will ride in and save the day. So operating a little bit like Galio from set 4, if players remember that one. So I think the challenges with these two is we kept trying to find the identity for each of them, and they ended up being really intertwined with each other. So there was a day where myself, Whitrock, the set lead, and Mort literally sat down and mapped out the entire set on a whiteboard. I don't remember who it was, but one of us was just like, oh, we don't have a summon trait. And we kind of played around with that. And on the flip side, we were also playing around with, like, is it risky to have our econ trait be
pouquinho mais... Eu senti que eu demorei pra hitar as peças, mas parece legal o country. Tem potencial.
And changing shape with each other, but we were happy with how it all landed. Yeah, I would say
já eles mostram as
skins. That I'm probably the biggest Ari stan around, so KDA being in the set is a huge, exciting moment for me.
É a Xixa, gosta de KDA, a área é Xixa. O Mortis Dog já olhou, eu sei, viado.
When deciding which mechanics to include in Remix Rumble, we wanted to bring you a greatest hits playlist from past sets, starting with Runeterra Reforged. Portals are making
olha que lindo, olha que lindo.
Have a bit less impact
olha que lindo.
Than some of the wilder ones from last set. We can do without you, Stillwater Hold, but they're sure to continue creating memorable moments. We won't be bringing back Legends.
Ai, graças a Deus. Fica com Deus, meu chapa. Nossa. Podre. Podre. Nossa,
so we feel like there's more exploration and experimentation to be done in this space before we potentially revisit it, but we'll keep you updated along the way. Okay, back to what we are bringing back. One of TFT's most beloved mechanics is returning in an updated way.
Agora, a mecânica, gente. A mecânica. A mecânica, a mecânica.
I'm talking about
Headliners.
Our fresh take on the Chosen mechanic from Fates.
Chosen voltou.
Headliners are the star of your board. They appear occasionally in shops.
Chosen voltou, monas.
At 2 stars. Headliners have tons of immediate power. And they give you +1.
Mas melhorou. Aqui, melhorou o Chosen. Mas melhorou. Melhorou aí, ó. Vai falar a diferença agora.
Each one will have a specific headliner effect that empowers them in a way that only a true fan would appreciate. Take Bard from the Jazz Trio, who improvises a few notes to either heal an ally or deal a bit of damage. When Bard is your headliner, every 10 casts will generate a meep that allows him to play 1 extra note on his first cast of combat. Bard is the type of headliner that will scale into the endgame. Whether that scale is major or minor depends on how early you can get it. Some headliners will be difficult to find endgame carries. Take Yorick, a legendary unit who temporarily summons ghouls. When this headbanger is your headliner, the ghouls will be bigger and deal more damage. And one more thing about our mechanics. All of them will be harmonizing together. So keep an eye and an ear out for that. All right, let's
gente, mas o Chosen tá bem melhor, tá? O Chosen, agora, por exemplo, você tem um Chosen no seu board, a cada 4 rolls vai aparecer um novo Chosen. Então você não precisa vender o seu Chosen pra você achar outro. E isso é muito bom, melhorou muito a sensação de jogar o set. Porque eu acho que era pior que você tinha que vender o seu Chosen pra achar outro. Então agora sempre tem um Chosen na loja quando você não tem, e a cada 4 rolls vai aparecer um novo. Porque aí você não tem que vender o seu pra ir pro cassino. Então melhorou muito. Mas ainda é Chosen. Não, eu não odiava, mas eu não amava, mas não acho que foi podre.
And it was something that allowed every champion to kind of be the centerpiece, right? Like, you would tell stories of, oh,
sim,
this was the
toda
game
loja
I
vai
got
ter um
Silas
Chosen, toda loja, toda.
Or this was the game I got Kennen chosen. But what was interesting is as we were kind of researching,
agora se você tiver a cada 4.
That was before a lot of these other
e aí melhorou muito.
Augments hadn't been around. And so a lot of the
se você não tiver, vai ser toda a loja.
And so as we were looking at this and kind of seeing all the pieces come together, it felt like kind of a greatest hits of TFT, which once we realized that was such a great opportunity to bring it all together. And so that's when we kind of anchored on Headliner being sort of the upgraded Chosen. You know, we've got Radiant items, augments, portals, and it really does sort of feel like 10 sets worth of TFT knowledge all coming together to make this really awesome set.
Gente, esse set tá muito bom.
The headliner mechanic, players will be most excited about the champ fantasies that it unlocks.
Ai,
So whether you are a player that really loves re-rolling those 1 or 2 costs, or you're a player that likes those 4 costs.
Eu gostei demais, eu gostei demais.
Headliner allows
Sério,
you to do
muito.
any direction you want every
Gente,
game,
as peças são muito legais. Ai, as sinergias são muito legais. Eu amei demais.
Comp of this set? Like, what are the combinations that we during production have no idea are coming, that we see videos of at 2 a.m. From China, and we're like, wow, that's amazing. I can't believe they came up with this idea.
Those cool combinations that keep you coming back and have an exciting payoff, I think is always what we're looking for when we're making new sets. It's like, what is the cool next thing to try out?
Agora essa parte é foda. Essa parte é muito foda. Observem.
Hey everyone, I'm Cole Hicks, lead composer of Remix Rumble, and I'm here to talk about the heart of this set, the music. In Remix Rumble, each trait brings new sounds to your board. While you're building your team, you're building your track. Remix Rumble was an all-hands-on-deck moment for our team. Many different composers and collaborators created original music for each origin trait and made it possible for all of it to meld together in any combination based on whichever units you have out on your board. To make genres like metal sound seamless with, say, jazz or pop, we wrote 2 main songs. Through a mix of layers that contain drums, chords, and melodies.
Não, mas eu não caguei pra mecânica, gente. Eu caguei pra mecânica. O set tá legal. O set tá muito legal.
Starting off one way during the preparation phase and building up to a more complex chorus for the battle. Let me show you an example of how all this will look and sound. Starting with our disco band, the Disco Knots. Their trait gives you a placeable disco ball that will heal your allies and grant them attack speed. As you get later into the game, you can add in more disco
A musiquinha.
knots to
Ai, eu amo. Gente, a musiquinha que toca é muito
Then you
boa.
could add in a destructive splash of pentakill for a killer guitar solo, soaring over it all.
Vocês estão percebendo que a música muda? Toda vez que você coloca uma peça, a música muda. Toda vez que você coloca uma peça, a música muda.
Tried to capture their instrumental essence with some TFT twists.
Ai.
And we brought in new genres
Gente,
like 8-bit
ai, nossa,
and
muito
country,
bom.
but more on those later. We also made sure powerful units like Jin got their moment in the spotlight. For Maestro, Jin's legendary
Tinha uma
trait,
lendária.
we mixed in a Paganini-esque violin solo to
Tinha
create
uma
a
lendária.
modern interpretation of classical music, fit for the
Quando você bota ele, ó, toca o violino, ó.
This sound was the perfect fit for a trait that
Gente,
deals
é perfeito.
extra damage to
É
tactician
perfeito.
health, and a
Gente,
champion whose
o violino
ability builds up
tocando na hora que ele
that
entra.
damage.
Ai,
By putting
olha
out
isso.
different units
Tô
on
toda
your board,
arrepiada.
you'll create a symphony of controlled chaos. Try combining the relentless drums of Pentakill with our harpsichord heavy emo band, Big Sad. Or,
A música ia
maybe as
mudando,
your
ó.
comp changes, you'll create music that features the bass of true damage alongside the groovy horn section of Disco Knots.
Mano,
Absolutely ridiculous.
tô todo arrepiado, sério.
It's just TFT.
O sistema de música tá
Alright, let's
insano,
head
vocês não têm
backstage
noção.
with
Vocês
the
não têm
team for a
noção.
quick recording session.
Vocês não têm noção. Gente, olha, tem um sax. Entra um sax assim. Nossa, quando você bota o bardo, entra um sax que é insano. Ai, ai. Gente, tá muito insano.
That's great, man.
Um sax.
Moving on?
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, let's move on.
Joguei.
Everybody's happy.
I think one of the challenges of working on this set is the multiple genres and how they're gonna be remixed into one another. There are a total of, I believe, 10 to 12 genres, some of them more bespoke than others because it's based on our virtual band, but all of this
Manos, eles esse set, juro pra você, quando eu joguei esse set, eu tive a sensação que esse set foi muito bem feito. Muito bem feito. Essa sensação que eu tive, sabe? Que o negócio foi muito bem feito.
Authenticity is both a goal and a challenge.
Mas eu tive a sensação que é um meta de lendárias nesse patch que eu joguei, né? Vamos ver como é que vai ser o meta, mas eu senti muito que é um meta de lendárias. As lendárias são roubadas. Não são nada de inúteis, são muito roubadas. Não, se 9.5 foi sacrificado por esse set, eu aceito o sacrifício. Que esse set
away,
parece
an
estar
audience
incrível.
to be able to be like, oh, like they're doing this punk rock thing without getting it confused with Pentakill, right? A metal band. They both use guitars, they both use drums, they both use bass.
Gente, mas o Chosen desse set tá muito melhor, juro pra vocês. A sensação dele tá muito melhor. Muito. Muito. Você não fica assim, meu Deus, ai, que horrível. Que Chosen lixo. Não fica. Você não fica com essa sensação. Eu joguei mais de 30 partidas e eu não fiquei sentindo em nenhum momento que lixo de Chosen. Não, 30 foi exagero, umas 15. Não fiquei, nunca fiquei com, nossa, meu Chosen é um lixo. Não fiquei com essa sensação.
One of the cool things about this set is that it is supposed to be a
Just
bit
edge,
crazy
Betty.
sometimes. So we were able to sort of like lean into it, being like, oh, that sounds a bit silly, but
Yeah,
it's
and some
kinda
surprising things came
Yeah.
out that were really cool. Like, for example, I think we discovered
Não posso,
that
Nate. Só as que vazou no vídeo aí, ó.
solo over Heartsteel is very cool. We have also discovered that a violin solo on top of Jason's EDM track is very cool.
Very cool. And we would have never made those choices as composers.
Normally,
Normally,
right.
it's okay to lean into the silliness sometimes because it is a fun idea and it's supposed to be fun.
Right.
Whereas other genres obviously will work in a way where you're like, oh, that's like, I would put that on my playlist and listen to it.
Yeah. For us, the collaboration is a little chaotic, and I think that's also us embracing that energy of like, we're not entirely sure if this is gonna work, and we're just kind of,
Amigo, você não viu as skins ainda. Ainda vai ter skins. Vocês não viram as skins. Cadê as skins? Que vão ver. Ainda tem skins. Vocês não têm noção as skins.
Where, as a composer, I get to play around the most and, you know, basically
Ah,
try
the
whatever
skins.
fun ideas I might have. The team is very open to experimentation. So, from that perspective, even though it is a fair amount
Sem dar
different
spoiler
than
pros minhas
anything
filhas aí, por
TFT
favor.
before,
Sem dar
I think
spoiler para
TFT
minhas
is the
filhas.
perfect place to do it. And I think the players of TFT are also
Responde
really
minha
on
pergunta,
board
deixa eu ver.
with these kinds of fun ideas.
100%.
As skins.
Hi everyone, I'm Ananda Gupta, Design Director on TFT. Today, I'm
Não,
here
você
to
tem que
give an
vender.
update
Você
on
tem que vender.
cosmetics.
Tem que vender.
And then I'll talk about Ranked.
Ele
as well as
aparece
a
na sua loja,
much-anticipated
mas para
release
você
for many
comprar,
of
você tem
our
que vender o
players,
seu.
The Asia Pacific mobile launch.
Não
We're
sei se vai
thrilled to
mudar.
bring more high-quality personalization that will be released throughout the start of Remix Rumble. Ahead of that, we want to give you a sneak peek and equip you with an understanding of the release schedule, both to prepare collectors as well as inform folks who want to nab their favorite. Chibi set,
Olha o set,
Chibi
que
Heartsteel
gracinha.
set, have
Olha
entered
esse
the
set,
building, and they're looking
Heartsteel.
to pull off a heist straight
Olha
to the
esse
top of the line.
set!
Chibi Heartsteel set
Ele
moves
tá muito
fast and
lindo.
will depart the treasure realms after the first 2 weeks of Remix Rumble.
Ah, feio minha mãe. O menino tá lindo.
Is definitely more.
A arena, cadê?
Drop your
Gente,
comp
essa
smack
arena.
dab in the middle of a
Essa
KDA
arena.
show and take
Gente,
top 4.
essa
Or
arena.
bottom 4. It won't matter
Olha
if
essa
the video is
arena.
stunning.
Ela transforma.
After 2 weeks, Chibi KDA Akali will screech onto
Olha a
the
Kali. Olha a
Then,
Kali.
The moment I've been waiting for.
E a
KDA
Kaisa.
will hit the convergence 3 weeks into the set.
Olha elas.
She and KDA Akali will be available
Ai, que
for treasure realms that will only
lindas.
last until our next event.
Mano, a Kali tá
Each
perfeita.
drop will provide high-value content, from chibis to
Hi.
mythic little legends, and even a chance to hit a random chibi variant like Dragonmancer Ash or Star Guardian Lux. But the biggest high roll of those collector capsules is KDA Kaisa. Kaisa is the centerpiece for players looking to flaunt that extra special drop. But Prestige Treasure Realms are full of high-value offerings from past sets. So, whether you're a collector looking to pick up something you missed,
Ela vai
or
ser a
legend
cara, tá?
enthusiast
A
just getting
Kaisa
their
vai
first
ser
chibi,
o
no
de
matter what you hit,
50k.
it's bound to hit hard.
A Kaisa vai ser o de
After Remix Rumble
50k.
ships, we've got even more work ahead of us. We know players want more say in what they purchase, and we're working towards exactly that in a system we're internally calling the
Grazi.
seasonal store.
Ô, Grazi.
We're not quite ready to go into the finer details yet, but I am ready to get into Remix Rumble's pass. Remix Rumble marks our transition to 3 sets a year, and we're updating our pass structure to reflect that. We'll still have 2
Vai
passes
ter dois
in every
passes.
set, but since sets now last 4 months, each pass will be 2 months long. So, we're redistributing rewards and accelerating pass progression to make all the rewards easier to obtain. Not every pass will look the same. Each Pass Plus will have different high-value rewards. For example, you'll see our new Neon Stage
Olha que
arena
arena
in Remix
linda
Rumble's
do
first
passe,
pass,
do passe,
and
tá?
in the Rumble second half, Sugarcone Poro.
Ó, o Poro Sorvetinho, você vai ganhar no passe, ô Zizi. Ó, o Poro
And just as our pass
Sorvetinho.
is changing to
Ele vai
accommodate
dar no
3 sets a
passe.
year, our ranked season is also changing.
Arrasou. Poro Sorvetinho. As rankeds, vamos lá.
Like League of Legends, we're adding Emeralds here to our
Esmeralda.
ranked ladder.
O Esmeralda vai
It'll add
entrar.
more climbing room, while also recognizing the skill progression that players show between Platinum and Diamond. This comes at the perfect time as we transition to creating 3 sets a year.
3 sets anuais e 3 mundiais.
Without mid-sets, there's no soft reset of your rank throughout the season, so you'll have more time to track your progress on the expanded ladder, prove your skill, and get new Emerald rewards. We're not looking to make the climb harder. Emerald and a longer season should mean a smoother, more consistent climb.
Emerald é
We know
antes do
TFT is a more
diamante, né?
chaotic game than League,
Antes
and
do
we don't want to
diamante.
punish
O
or
Marco
reward
vai
you
ficar
too
hard
much
stuck
for
Esmeralda, né,
performance
Marco?
failures.
Ah, pelo menos pensa, amiga, arrumou um novo elo pra você. Agora você pode sair do platina. Parabéns, não vai ser mais platina.
Before you get too excited and
Que
queue up
luxo.
for ranked, let's check
A
out
Riot te ajudando a sair do hard
launch of Remix
stuck.
Rumble in late November will be the first time TFT is available on mobile in APAC regions. And we're shipping a number of improvements along with this launch that will impact the entire world.
Agora você sai do
First, I
platina.
want to thank our APAC players for their patience. We've been working towards bringing mobile to you since we launched it during Galaxies, and we know that you've awaited its arrival ever since. In preparation for this launch, our tools and engine team has been hard at work making mobile usability, stability, and performance improvements. And for the tablet players out there, one of these improvements is tablet support. Come Remix Rumble, you can say goodbye to the black bars and wonky scaling when playing on tablet, and hello to a smoother, prettier
Eles
tablet-tailored
arrumaram a
experience.
experiência no
We've
tablet.
seen a ton of anticipation
Quando entra
for TFT
terça-feira,
Mobile in APAC
dia
and
7.
tablet support across the world, and we can't wait to kick it all off with Remix Rumble. So, APAC players, make sure to pre-register for our launch, as we'll be offering multiple pre-registration milestone rewards, from treasure tokens to a new little legend, Boba T-River Sprite.
Buba. Ah,
And
é
if you're not in APAC, don't
de
worry,
Buba.
This little Sprite will eventually be available to
Daquele chá com bolinha. Aí ele tomando, a canalha.
Was that the last boba? Yep. Oh. Okay. Hey everyone, Sherman back to talk about all things TFT esports.
Esportes. E o Vegas Open.
It's been awesome to see the growth of TFT esports over the last few sets. We've seen 3 sets of steady viewer growth for set championships, and with the Runeterra Reforged Championship, we're hoping to make it 4. We're about 5 weeks out from our first global LAN event, the TFT Vegas Open.
Meu sonho ir.
It'll be from
Riot,
December
você
8th
prometeu.
through the 10th, with 512 competitors from around the world as they take over the MGM Grand. I first want to say that we were blown away by how quickly competitor passes sold out back in
Não tenho
September,
dinheiro.
and we can't wait to see you battle it out there. The event happens early in Remix Rumble, testing players' ability to adapt, innovate, and lead the meta. This is a moment where players from anywhere can step into the spotlight and become IRL headliners. The player that comes out on top will walk away with $100,000, a trophy, and most importantly, the TFT Vegas Open title. And even if you don't get first, the 128 players who make it to day 2 will win a piece of the $300,000.
Aí imagina, você fica no top 100, ganha $450. Não paga nem meu hotel lá. Amo. Eu viajei e meu nome no SPC Serasa. Ai, que delícia. Ai, nunca mais eu compro nem 1 grama de arroz.
We're adjusting to have a competitive season for each one. So rest assured, there will be a Remix Rumble Championship at the end of the set.
De patrocínio.
It'll be the culmination of Remix Rumble. So we have high expectations for the comps players will bring to the finals, now that they've had a chance to master the set. For those of you competing in Vegas, PvE goes live the 2nd week of November. So get out there and start crafting your go-to comps. As for everyone else, we're super excited for our first ever LAN event, and we hope to see you all there, either in person or digitally.
Não, é presencial.
Thanks so much for watching. Good luck and have fun out there.
Ai, gente, eu
Till
amei.
next time.
Gente, juro pra vocês, esse set. Juro pra vocês, gente. Batalha musical Remix Rumble. Perfeito, aclamadíssimo. Eu amei, eu joguei um pouco o set. Está insano. A mecânica, você não acha que é um lixo. Vocês têm preconceito com o Chosen, vocês vão amar. Vocês vão ver. Semana que vem vai ter vídeo no canal falando tudo do set. Então vai ser legal. Ai, eu tô muito hypado. Gente, tá muito bom.